to the first in this trilogy, I think we'll call it, which will be which is like a legendary pillar content that we've got here. Siram, do you want to introduce, or do you want me to just get cracking with it?
Yeah, you can get started with that.
Just get cracking. Well, we'll just while we're waiting for guys to fill up this afternoon in the room. Great to see you all this afternoon. Hope everything's all good with you wherever you are in the world. Just so that we can kind of get a bit of a gauge, just drop in the chat box whereabouts you are in this wonderful world. Whereabouts are you tuning in from today, this afternoon, before we get cracking, just while we're waiting for a few more people to come in. So just drop it in the chat box. Let us know where you're from. Just while we're waiting for a few more people to join. Literally just turned the 5 o'clock here in the UK. So yeah, hello Adrian, Dam Jam, George, Ian, Matthew, Miguel, Peter. Just let us know where you are in the world. Drop your country or your county or wherever it is in the chat box, and we'll just see where you are. No one wants to tell us where they're from. They must all be hiding somewhere. That's absolutely fine.
I'll go first.
You'll go first, will you? Right. Well,
I'm north of London.
Yeah, sorry. So we just had Ian say that the chat was disabled. So
okay. Hey, there we go.
Yes, yeah.
They're okay now. So we now have chat, so we can now find out where you're from. So Boston, fantastic, all the way across the other side there. Another one from Boston. Ian from Boston, Matthew from Boston, Slovenia, Hertfordshire, George. I'm going to say this, George, and it doesn't sound too weird. I do recognise your name. Portugal. Oh, hello. George is from Hertfordshire, North London, but I think he's on holiday in Portugal. Well done. Toronto, Bedfordshire, Barry, welcome. Just up the road from us. Great. Thanks, guys. I thought it was going to be a very quiet show then for a minute. So, but no, that's great. Just those guys have just joined. Just drop in the chat box where you're from this afternoon. Just interested to see where everybody in the world is. So, excellent stuff. Well, look, let's get cracking. East Sussex. Ian Hurd. I'm going to say, now I'm not very well educated on geography here. MA, USA. Is that Massachusetts? Yes. Fantastic. I'm getting to know. Lowestoft. Excellent stuff. Look, guys, thanks ever so much for that. Really appreciate that. Little bit of engagement. Look, we're going to have a bit of fun this afternoon. We're going to, thanks to the guys at SuperOps, we're going to be lifting the lid on MSP business growth. My name's Ian Luckett. I help MSPs with my business partner here, Stuart Warwick, who's also dialed in as Ian Luckett for some strange reason. But the guy below me here, who's not talking right now, is Stuart Warwick, who's my business partner. And we help MSPs get to 1 million. And if you're already there, we help you get to 5 and go faster. And it's going to be quite fun for me actually today, because I'm going to be quizzing Stuart and asking him probably some difficult questions about this whole business growth thing. And we've also got Simon Dickinson from Cypher IT Limited. Good afternoon, Simon. How you doing?
Yeah.
And he's in Coventry. And what we're going to do is we're going to spend the next 45 minutes understanding what's this whole business growth thing all about for an MSP? Why is it different than any other business growth? And we know that everybody's busy. We know that everybody's got a lot on. There's a lot of content out there. There's a lot of advice out there. And we're just going to take the lid off it. We're going to go straight to the bottom of the can and we're going to go, what's this all about? Why do you need to do it? And Stuart's going to help us to understand, some of the tactics and some of the strategies that he's used over the years. And Simon's going to give us, he's an MSP. I'm just going to get him to introduce himself in a minute. He's been through this journey, he's got some help and support, and I want him to share with you guys what he's done, how difficult it can be sometimes, and kind of like some of the application to what we're talking about with Stuart. So the thing that's really exciting about this webinar is it's a 3-part. The guys at SuperOps, we had a chat with them. They said, can we do a webinar? I said, look, let's do 3. Let's do one about business growth and understand why we need a plan. What have we got to do with this plan? What's the point? Okay, let's get to the bottom of that, because Then we can move on to the second in the show, which is with our great friend Paul Green, and we're going to talk about marketing. And I'm actually going to really enjoy this because Paul has always spent years ribbing me, so I'm going to be the lion tamer on this one, and I'm going to be really getting into Paul and finding out just really about this whole marketing thing for MSPs. And then the third one, we're just waiting just for a bit of final information. It's going to be about sales. So we get your growth plan together. We get your marketing sorted out, so you start getting a flow of leads, and then we're going to get you some sales coming in at the other end. So that's the kind of concept. That's the whole point of why we're here today. First things first, let's introduce our amazing guests. Simon, introduce yourself. Just tell us who you are, what you do, where you're from, and then in terms of the company, how long has it been running? How many employees you've got? How many endpoints? That sort of thing, so we can kind of see, how that, what that looks like.
Cool. And the lights go out in the room.
That could not have been timed any better, could it?
So I'm Simon Dickinson. I run a company called Cypher IT. I'm the MD. We've been going 22 years. We've got 8 staff currently, and plus myself. And we're currently got about 1,300 endpoints.
Nice.
And we're a managed service provider.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. Excellent. Good. And we're going to be really drilling into your experience and your journey that you've been through as well today. And Stuart, Mr. Warwick, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you, what you do, and who do you help?
Yeah, well, I've been in the MSP space now 5 or 6 years, and I deliberately came into it because I had a couple of clients who were MSPs, and I could see what an amazing business model they had. And I was also taking my own advice of niching rather than working across a broad general set of business clients. And what excited me was the business model. But when I did some research, and I'm probably quite well documented on this, I did some research at the UK government Companies House. 95.7% of ISO stated, SIC code stated businesses that were IT businesses didn't get to 1 million. And that scratched my head. And I said, if they're not, they're missing a trick, assuming that they want to grow. That led me into this wonderful journey into the MSP space and the MSP Growth Hub to help MSPs scale confidently, and there's a clue there, but also get their business to work for them rather than them for it. Because when that starts to happen, if you want to scale it, the magic can happen.
Yeah. And this is all about the right mindset, isn't it? At the end of the day, you can run a quite successful, and Stuart sort of said, you can run quite a successful MSP just by staying in business, because you're going to get referrals coming in, but it might feel a bit clunky. And I'm just going to, let's just get stuck in here now. Turam, can we just enable the screen sharing? Because I know that Stuart's going to want to share something in a minute. But the first question is to Stuart, because growth planning, right? Probably one of the most boring subjects in the world, right? It's not exciting. It's quite hard because it's not quick, and it's not like, you get instant response and things like that. It always is one of those things that gets pushed to the back of MSPs' minds. It's always a bit, oh God, what have I got to do this for? Why is this important? What is the point, Stuart, in putting a plan together, and why particularly is it important for MSPs to do that?
Right. I think that the distinction is between, there is a lot of let's grow, and every MSP that comes to me that I've encountered has said, I want to grow, I need more leads, I need more clients, obviously. But the thing about that is, do you want to grow, or do you want to be scalable? Because yes, you can get more leads, depends on the quality of the leads, and that's the hard bit. Everyone's tried a bit of this, a bit of LinkedIn, a bit of Facebook, a bit of leaflets, a bit of networking, a bit of pay-per-click SEO, and unless they might get lucky, but it's never sustainable. And this seems like the secret sauce that is so elusive, that makes growing so difficult. And I think there's two things. There's just wanting to grow, and there's wanting to grow in a scalable way. Because if you landed with 10 ideal clients tomorrow, you'd fall over. Most would anyway. Yeah. Because actually, whilst we can put new leads into you, if you can't actually cope with it, there's no point. And if you spent 10 grand on a marketing campaign and you get lucky and you get a lot of quality leads, you will fall over trying to deliver to it, or not actually deliver and lose them out the back end.
I'm just going to go on. No, yeah. Keep going. All right, I'm going to put you on pause, and I'm going to go to Simon. I'm going to say, Simon, is he telling the truth? Before you started, hey, yeah, you like this bit. Before you started really thinking about, I need some help to grow and scale the business, did you think, yeah, all I need some leads and it's no problem? And then when you thought that, when was the point when you thought, hang on a minute, there's a point here. If I actually put more leads in this, because of the way the business is structured or the organization or the systems, this isn't going to pan out right. What do you remember that time, and what did what did that feel like?
Well, it was chaos, if I'm honest. I was running around like an idiot fixing computers, still really working in the business, doing everything that you could, thinking I need more clients, we need more revenue, need more clients. But the reality is I couldn't have handled more clients really. That's
because of the way that it was organized, because the way that it was just structured. Was it anything in particular?
Well, it goes a little bit like, oh, we've won a big contract. Yay! I've got to do the work. Ooh, it's a little bit like that. True story. I'm sure other people feel the same pain.
Yeah. And that's at the point when you go, look, I need to get a bit of a hand. So Stuart, back over to you again. So they've just realized that. And then, in terms of the actual plan itself, what's the next thing that we need to understand with the MSPs?
I think making a plan is easy, because I think everybody on this call has made a plan. What do I do to get from A to B? We all know what a plan is. You can Google all the advice you want on any topic on the planet, and it's on the internet. It's what we do with it. And I think the key after understanding is, do I just want, leads, more business, but can I cope with it? Have I got a scalable business? That leads us to the question of, what do you want to build? Because many MSPs, probably 50% of MSPs globally, are quite happy with a lifestyle business. In fact, if I can share my screen, I can.
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah.
We like a model.
Yeah,
and it's a diagram, not the other sort.
Is hopefully everyone can see this, and I'll just put it on presenter mode. Hopefully that you can see that clearly. So I haven't built it for you. I've just stuck it up here as a slide for you. And the survive space, everyone.
That's just on that screen there. I think, is it?
Can you see it?
It's not come on yet. It's just as it is in the PowerPoint at the minute. Is that the blue circle of death I see in the middle?
How's that?
But that's it. That's it. It's all nicely built.
Yeah, brilliant.
Great. Yeah.
Everyone on this call, I think, will identify, and I'll be curious in the chat box if people say, where are you on what I call the MSP journey? Because over the last 5 or 6 years, we've recognized that there is a journey in growing a business. So startup phase, somewhere between 0 and 400. So in dollars terms, it's somewhere sort of sub 500K. That's the survive space where you get started, you're excited. Simon, you'll remember this, it's 20 years ago and you're excited and you're building the business, and you're happy to grind it out and chase down everything, and you build a business. Okay, you hire a couple of people, you get through the survive space, and you enter what is the early stages of truly having a business. Now, many MSPs don't really want to go beyond what we call the survive stage, which is lifestyle. The business is built around you, it works because of you, and you're quite happy with that. And that's absolutely fine, because you can have a nice small business and lifestyle on that. However, many want a business that is scalable to give them more time, more profit, more freedom, because that's what a business asset is designed to do. So if I'm going to scale the MSP, the challenge, and when I did the research about the 95.7, is that they get stuck in the drive phase, which is somewhere between sort of 400K in pounds and 750K, somewhere in that range. You've got a team of 4 or 5, but you're driving everything. You're needed and you're chasing everything down. Now, if you get lucky, get a big client, or there's 2 or 3 of you in the business, you've got enough firepower to get you to a place that can feel quite enjoyable. We call it thrive, and you've got a team building now such that if you're doing it right, you're directing everything and you're empowering others to own the help desk, to run the project team, you might be hiring sales and marketing people potentially. But it's a very fragile place for many, because many get stuck here and it doesn't take much to destabilize them and pull them back. But ultimately, the point is, where do you want to end up with a business that works for you rather than you, that isn't dependent on you, and your job is to inspire the people around you to grow? And I think the point about why is a growth plan important is, it's important if you know what it is you want to be when you grow up. Whether it's local, regional, national, or international as a business, what is it that you want to be? So for example, if you want to be the #1 MSP in your region, your city, great. That's a really simple ambition. Also, by doing that, what is it going to give you? Profit, income, freedom, time with the kids, time to do your hobbies. And also, what's it going to do for you as a business owner, the legacy and the impact that you're going to have on the local community. So understanding why you want to build it, and also what that looks like. Not everybody wants to build a $10 million business, but you can have a really fantastic business that you're not at the heart of at $1 million, 1.5 million, if you want to. It all depends on why you're building it, and therefore what that looks like.
Thanks, Stuart. And as Stuart said, just drop in the chat box, guys. Where do you think you are? Do you think you're at survive, where you're grinding, driving, chasing, thriving, empowering, or arrive with inspiring? Simon, when you first saw that model, what did you think? Did you go, yeah, what did you think? I'm not going to answer your question for you. That's up to you.
Well, definitely grinding. That was for sure.
Definitely grind. Can you just pop it back on a minute, Stuart, just so we can just kind of refer to it, just in case if anybody pops on, and we can just do that. So you were definitely grinding, and you know, and kind of how did the whole thing resonate with you?
Like I said before, it's absolute chaos, and something needed to change. It was the point where you can't really have a holiday because the business needs you, and that's just a place I didn't really want to be anymore. Yeah, and I sort of concluded that just need to move up a little bit, progress. I need to be able to trust people, not second guess the team and the few people I had working for me then. Yeah, and I achieved that really. The plan has helped.
Where do you think you are today?
I think we're entering thrive.
Nice.
Because I can take holiday and I've got a team around me, and the only thing I'm needed in the business for right now is sales and account management, and that's about to change with a new role that we've got in the business. So hopefully that's going to help push us further forward.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Thanks for sharing that, Sam.
This is the important piece, Ian, is that everybody wants to grow, and they want it now because they're not making enough profit, or they're not being able to pay themselves enough in the business because they haven't got scale yet. They haven't got enough scale, but with enough capacity. And so what we need to do first of all is slow down. That's what the plan's about. Because the minute you build the plan that's connecting the next 5 years to the next 12 months, and what we always do is then connect to the next 16 weeks. What is it I need to do this month alongside running the business and looking after my client that's going to build the stabilization, the foundation? So the really good metaphor for this is a three-legged stool. Three-legged stools are incredible, simple pieces of engineering that can hold up big weight, you know, us sitting on them. If one of those legs is shorter than the others, it's unstable. And so when we look at MSPs, we look at the three core pillars. How do we harness your ambition? How do we amplify the capacity? And how do we then maximize sales and marketing, the opportunity of your business in your marketplace, whatever your marketplace is, you know, local or national or international. And so when they are out of kilter or non-existent, you haven't got a stool that can sustain you, support you. It's exactly like when you go to a restaurant and you've got the one table in the restaurant's got a short leg. and it's wobbling and your wine glass falls over and your cutlery rattles, you spend more time focusing on the table than you do on having a conversation. Imagine that's a business. You're distracted. It's unscalable. So the question is, do you want to scale? Do you want to build a business that's a true asset? If you do, then let's build a plan that allows you to scale it around you, not because of you. Sorry, I get quite passionate.
Yeah, no, we get that, and thank you, George. Survive stage at the moment was running around like Simon. Anybody else want to share? Then just drop it into the chat box. Let's get some meat on the bones. Where on earth does anybody start with regards to putting, a meaningful plan together? I'm going to talk about measurement in a minute, because it's easy to put a plan together and go, yay, we did a plan, it was really good. The guy on the webinar said this, and this, that's great. But how do we measure it? How do we know it's actually working? How do we know that we need to change it? We'll come on to that in a minute. But, building growth plans 101, where'd you start, Stuart?
Start with the end point. We've all heard that, start with the end in mind. You have to be ready to change, because it's as much about the growth of you. Your business currently, no matter how big it is at that size because of you, because of the way you understand business today, because the way how you feel about letting go, how you feel about delegating, how you feel about sales and marketing. How you feel about those things and how competent you are at them is reflected in the size of your business right now. Sounds a bit woo-woo, but to grow your business, you have to grow your thinking and your confidence. Where you're going to spend maybe 40, 50,000 pounds or dollars on marketing, that's a scary thing. In fact, most will go, no way, I'm not doing that. I might spend 5,000.
Yeah.
And but sales and marketing is scary. If you think about hiring that next person, many are scared of hiring the next person because they don't think they can afford it. But actually they can't afford not to. But until you understand why you're doing it and what you're going to let go of, because the minute you start putting more capacity in there, and I think Simon could probably talk to this, you're suddenly having more time, assuming you recruit the right people, that's a whole different ballgame, to then go and sell more, but not necessarily hunt for those elusive new business leads, to actually dig into the data of your business and go and talk to your clients, because the low-hanging fruit in your business is the golden goose of your business. So how do we start the plan? Decide what we want to be when we grow up. Look at where you are, what isn't working, and what is it that you need to build to give yourself more time. And I think for many people on this call, they are the best salesperson in their business at the moment, unless you're particularly big and you've got more structure in it. So how can you get out there and talk to your clients or the leads, if you are getting in, more frequently, more effectively, to be able to then grow the top line business? I don't know how that might resonate with Simon's experience.
Absolutely. You really don't know what you don't know. That's the key at the start. You start to create a little bit of a plan, and with your target, and before you know it, you're starting to break it down into manageable chunks. But I think if you're running around in the survive stage, it's really, really difficult to focus on these things, because we're techies at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We're running around fixing computers. We're not business owners. We have a glorified job, is what I learned from it, and changing that is key, really, being able to focus. I think working with you anyway, Stuart, specifically, you've helped really create a plan and made me a little bit accountable. So I have to come back.
A little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah. So, but breaking it down into those 16-week chunks really helps, because you can achieve a lot in 16 weeks, and it's quite a small amount, but it adds towards the end. But my plan constantly is changing. So I've got an overall plan, but it constantly changes as I go through the journey. One day it's, we need recruitment. So we deal with addressing the team, if you like. They're not A players. We need A players, not C players. People who are darting out the door on the 5:30 on the dot. They're not the guys that are going to take us to tomorrow. So it becomes part of the plan, part of the growth.
Stuart, what I really heard, what you were just talking about then, and Simon's just touched on it a little bit, is the first part of growth planning is actually about getting some headspace. It's about getting time to think strategically, because while you're in the muck and the bullets and the cables and the Wi-Fi and all the other bits and pieces that you're trying to fix on a daily basis, you know, someone comes along and says, hey, you should do a bit of marketing. It's like, marketing? I can't even keep my blooming tickets down. This is just crazy. So, you know, I'll come on to Simon in a minute about some of the tactics that you use to discipline yourself into getting that headspace. But Stuart, just give us a bit of a kind of a real high level helicopter thoughts and tactics around how does the MSP who's on this call today going, yeah, this sounds really, really great. I love it, but I can't do it. I'm too busy. I've got no time in the world to do it. This is like crazy. You guys are bonkers. Yeah. Overcome their fears, Stuart.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have.
We don't want unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not going to like the answer. But Simon just gave it. It's the accountability. And the problem with planning, and you can all go and disappear for half a day and an hour and make a plan, is that you don't keep it alive. You don't live and breathe it, because then you go and get too busy. So it's the accountability to yourself, to that plan. So it doesn't go in the drawer like many do, or it's on the back of a fag packet, cigarette packet. They don't really exist there. But anyway.
Cigar packet.
Cigar packet, yeah. It doesn't, you don't live and breathe it, and that's the problem. So how can you be accountable to a fellow business owner, to be accountable to your plan of what you're going to do month in, month out? Because it isn't easy. It is really hard to stay accountable to yourself, to a plan. Just like trying to get fit or lose weight or run a marathon, it's easy to give up and just get on with the day-to-day. And that's why that statistic, 95.7, is so true, because everyone gets to a point where it's okay. Sometimes it's terrible, sometimes it's great, but most of the time it's okay, and they don't know what to do next.
So I thought I had a plan. I thought I had a plan for many years, Stuart. I'd write it down in OneNote or on a bit of paper at the start of the year, over Christmas break, think this is my plan for next year. And yeah, did I look at that plan? No, it was just a list of things that you might want to achieve, but no structure or no real definition to how you're going to do it or timing. And you're just too busy, like you say. Yeah,
it is. However, you're not too busy. And this is where it's all about why it's important to you. And we need somebody to, you know, whether it's a wife, a partner, a coach, a fellow business partner, a networking group that you're a part of, somebody that you're going to be embarrassed about saying, I haven't done it. And they go, why? Because you told me it was important. That is probably what makes the difference. We talk about the 10% formula. If you're working with us, all you need to think about is 10% of your working week, 3 or 4 hours, sometimes more, sometimes less, and it will transform your business week by week as we implement on that basis. It is absolutely incredible what you can get done in 2 or 3 hours every week.
If you can get a day, you're really on a winner. Mine's a Wednesday.
And I mean, but virtually all of our clients within a few months are taking a day a week to work on the business, where before that they said no way. And they get done.
And and it doesn't matter where obviously we're speaking from experience with what we're doing, but it doesn't matter where you get your help from. And we talk about this 10% formula, and I can almost guarantee that if you can 5% and stop doing stuff that doesn't really matter, the process of getting into the mindset and kind of like being deliberate and being accountable will find you the other 5%. So you kind of don't have to worry about, this hour a week. Simon, let's talk about gear changes. We like talking about cars anyway, but let's talk about shift change. What was the thing that shifted in your mind when you went from, the whole chaotic thing to saying, like, I've got to put my big boy pants on now. I've got to do this thing. I've got to be more disciplined. And what was the things that you had to change in your routine, in your thinking, in the way that you were doing to get where you're, kind of where you are today with getting that space?
Wow. Can you ask me one on sport instead?
Nope. Sorry, it's not a sports show.
Right. Wow.
Do you want me to break it down?
We can do.
Yeah, it's just like, from when the moment when you suddenly, you're really, really
when
busy.
The penny dropped And I'm trying
That
to
was
think
it.
back to 2 years when the penny dropped.
Sorry, you were thinking about cars too much. I shouldn't have brought a car analogy into you, because I knew that was a dangerous thing to do anyway. When did the penny drop? And once that penny dropped, what what
It's
were the
quite a
steps that you
strange one, because Stuart actually called me on a day I was having a very bad day on site with a customer, and I'm sat in my car talking to him, and he was talking to me about how things are going, and I thought, something's got to change. And he said, I don't remember the exact words he said, though. That's the problem. He just implied that I'm too busy working in the business, should be doing a bit of planning and working on it. And I had a team of 12 people at that point. And yes, I've reduced in size, but the profits are up. We've reduced in size, we've reduced endpoints, and we've been on quite a journey after looking at the numbers and really analysing it. But that was just that moment talking to Stuart that I thought, you know what? I've been doing this for 20 years and I'm getting nowhere. I'm still running around, working late at evenings, having to pick up the slack on the weekends, explain to the wife why I'm busy.
Yeah.
And I thought, something's got to give. Plus, I like cars, and there were some track days coming up, I think. So.
Brilliant. Stuart, I want to talk to you about delegation. Okay. Now, the number one thing to stop, to stop MSP business owners from doing doing this and focusing on their plan, whatever their plan looks like, is I'm too busy, I can't do it, I don't trust anyone else, I need to do it myself, it's just as quick. What do we say to people when they say that to us? I've got him.
You have to build the business around you, not because of you. So what I mean by that is, and Simon will remember this, is that we've got to find the thing that you do best and that you enjoy doing most, that is going to make the biggest difference of getting the business from where it is today to where you want it to be. So once you've got the plan, we need to start with you and build the business around you, not because of you. So it comes down to structure, so that we get you into your happy place, that you can do. It's not overnight, of course it isn't. But once we start structuring the business around you, so it lifts you up to do what you're best at, you're in a happier place, and it identifies who and what you need to delegate to and what kind of team you need around you. What many will find when they realize that they need to build the structure first, and then that the leads and the acceleration will come later, is that they haven't got the right team. The team that they've got today got them to where they are. What's going to get them to where they want to go is most likely a different structure of team, one that lifts them up above it, so their happy place, and puts the right people in their happy place in the organization, that allows you to delegate and therefore be scalable.
But I'm a tech and I enjoy doing it all, Stuart. And so what you just said doesn't resonate with me, because that's fine. So how would we approach the whole leverage thing? Because you can't do everything all yourself. And maybe Simon, if you can chip in here a little bit, what were some of the first tasks that you let go of?
Yeah, one of the things there is I actually had to sit back and think, do I want to be a technician or do I want to be a managing director? Do I want to be the CEO of this company? So I've got two choices now. Either bring someone in to be the CEO and be my boss, or I have to change my role and enter into a unknown, if you like. And naturally, I think most of us running our own IT company, we don't want a boss. That's why we're running our own IT company.
Yeah.
So there I moved into that role and focused on that. But then I've got other people around me that some fitted the bill and some didn't. And I did a bit of an analysis on myself. I think you call it a RAG analysis, red, amber, green. What all the roles and things I have to do, what do I enjoy doing? What do I hate? And the moment I found the ones that I really don't like doing, I started thinking, right, who's going to fit that role? Who's going to fit that role? And brilliant. I've done that same analysis on the team that I have to understand what their strengths are and what they like. Because I think happy people, if you're doing 80% of your stuff that you enjoy doing every day, you want to win. We all have to deal with some rubbish and horrible stuff, but that's life.
Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Look, guys, we are just absolutely flying at a rate of knots here with so much great value. Stuart, talk to me about how, what gets measured gets done, right? So we've got a bit of a plan. We've talked about Headspace. We've talked about how to get, a little bit more time in your week, whether it be 10% or whatever it might be. Going to focus on the plan, going to put the plan together. Might be around building the business up in terms of the structure or the direction or the vision or whatever it might be in terms of that plan. How do you measure it? How do you know it's working? What's some of the things that you know, if you're going to run for 3 months, how do you measure success? What does particularly when we've talked about headspace, delegation and leverage, how do you measure headspace? What's that all about?
Very simple. Time.
Okay.
And also, how do you feel? Because if you're feeling stressed and I'm still working 80 hours, then something's still not working. Now, if I'm only working 60 hours instead of 80 hours or 40 hours instead of 60 hours, and I'm perhaps working on my business half a day a week, that's the shift. And I am, in fact, I'll tell you a story. There was one chap we were working with, he said, I can't, when I go on holiday, I have to take the laptop because I need the laptop. And because I need to stay in touch with the team. And when we got him to leave the laptop at home and go on holiday, he said, I'd have to keep the phone on the whole time. He had absolutely no phone calls from his team when he actually said, I'm on holiday and I'm not available. It was him that was staying attached to the business rather than the team needing him to be connected to the business. And I think from a measures point of view, what you really need is, it's in your P&L. What's your, if you measure monthly your turnover, your gross profit, your cost of sale, and your operating profit, it's a guide to the success of the business. Now, the place that we get many of our clients to start is their PSA.
Okay.
We need to get you to look into your financial system and look into your PSA and see what the data around your clients is telling you. Because the opportunity for you to grow, your golden goose, as I said earlier, is your existing clients. But only if you start to structure yourself in the right way. So the secret sauce to everybody on this call is think about what your role should be. Think about how you can get rid of the stuff you don't enjoy doing. And then delve into your PSA and your finance system. They're probably not as connected as you might like them to be. And look at the data and look at for the opportunities to support your golden geese, your clients better, sell them more. That will get you growing and moving in the right direction so that you can then start to invest in more people and the sales and marketing bit that is so difficult, but so vital to be scalable and accelerate your growth when you're actually capable of supporting that growth. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. And, great, simple bits of advice. I'm assuming that we're recording this, Cyril, so people can go back and have a listen, because we're fire hosing them this afternoon. We like doing a bit of fire hosing with the data.
Can I make
Simon, give it. Sorry, go on, Simon. Yeah, go for it.
I created what I call a service matrix. So basically, every client is listed out, and have they got this service that I offer? Do they have VoIP from us? Do they have their internet from us? Do they have antivirus from us? Security packages, etc., across the whole board, mail signatures, the whole lot. And then basically I looked at that and I went, oh my God, there is so many customers that I don't sell all my services to.
Wow.
So then I started looking at, right, they're all my upsell opportunities. So I approached that, and literally with account meetings, go talk to them about their business, have a chat, find out what's going on, suggest, we've got a mail signature thing. Do you have the problem with this? You really could do with a security element.
Yeah.
Have the conversation, nice, open, friendly conversations. I'm not going to sell things to people, just have a chat. And you'd be surprised how many take up those security products or didn't even know that you sold VoIP solutions or could provide internet. It's quite mind-blowing. So yeah. I ticked a lot of boxes doing that. That also then identified some of my weaker clients that probably don't take IT as seriously as I'd like, which potentially are the ones that have ended up being culled. So they've been removed out of the equation, hence the reduction in endpoints. But the revenue has gone up and I've reduced down the count, which is quite good. It's less to handle, less
So
headache.
again, it's noise, isn't it? You know, you have some
Yeah.
of these clients that, and as Stuart said, you know, start measuring it with your profitability in your PSA, because you can then check out who's the most profitable client, who's the noisiest client, who's costing you the most. And if, say, for example, a client's costing you, I don't know, an hour, 2 hour a week, whatever's realistic. If you got rid of that client and you replaced it with a nice profitable client, you could replace it with 4 profitable clients. And that sounds like that's exactly what you. So you reduced your endpoints down and you've increased your turnover and profitability then just by going through that exercise.
You can also run some nice reports in the PSAs if you develop a bit of a report that would state basically how much they pay you every month. And then you can work out from the timesheets, if you've got timesheets, and the burden rate of the member of staff, you can work out if that client is profitable that month, 6 months, a year. And you'll soon find out that that little client, you think, oh, he only pays me a couple $100 a month, but he's all right. He doesn't phone me. You find out actually it cost me to support him last month. And you soon work out that you really don't want that client. They're not buying your products. They don't take IT seriously. There's a risk element to you as a business. And before you know it, you go, okay, adios, put your price really up high, and they soon walk. Or give them to another IT provider that you don't like, perhaps. I don't know.
Pass it on to one of your competitors and say, hey, move stage left, move stage left. Guys, we're just starting to push into the clock a little bit. I just want to just take a little bit of a pause. I'm going to ask you some questions in a minute, just about your top do's and don'ts. So to Stuart and Simon, to make your MSP the best year next in 2023. What are the top do's and the top don'ts? But you know, we're here today. Super Ops have put this amazing event together and the series. And for those who've just joined us, this is a 3-part series. So we're lifting the lid. We're getting a bit brutal on asking about some of this business growth stuff that's going on in the channel, because there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of distractions, there's a lot of people going on, and we're just going to have this series. I've got 3 series here. One next session is on the 22nd of November with Paul Green, great friend of mine. We're going to talk about marketing. So today's been about business growth. What do you need to do to get your head around that? November, we're going to be talking about marketing. Really, come on, let's just stop faffing about with this. What do we actually need to do to get success in marketing? And we're going to be drilling Paul out on that one. And then we're going to be doing, in December, we're going to be talking about sales. So that's how we've kind of structured this together. But we've got a little bit of a poll here because Super Ops have put this together. They've got an amazing platform here that they've got that's starting to, where we're hearing the words more and more people have got some Super Ops here. And I think we've just got a poll coming up, haven't we? You know, if anybody wants to learn a little bit more about Super Ops, all they need to do is just click the button yes on this poll, or maybe send a bit of information and just find out how it works, what it's doing, why it's different to the other systems that are out there. You know, and we see quite a lot of the time that people end up with paralysis by analysis with all the different systems that they've got here. And this is a great platform, and the guys here, you know, really great bunch of guys, really good to connect with. So if you want to learn a little bit more about Super Ops, then just click this button here and just go into the poll there. So let's just bringing this up to a bit of a head now. Stuart, top do's, top don'ts. What are the people on the call got to do around business growth, nice and straight, nice and simply, to make 2023 their best year ever?
Well, if you want to make the best of what Paul Green has to say around marketing on webinar number 2, and I think there's a third one on sales, isn't there?
Yep.
Those things are great, and they are the shiny tools and the shiny balls that everybody wants. But guys, unless you've got a plan that you believe in, that's scalable to where you want to take your business, it's a waste of time. Because if you're already busy and chasing your tail and thinking, I just need more sales, I just need more marketing, can you afford the time and the money to put into that to get it to go? And can you actually cope with it when it happens? If you can't, look at the plan, find some time for a plan, find somebody that can keep you accountable to that plan and that can support you through the ups and downs of next year in trying to keep focused on what that plan requires you to do, and make it happen. It's as simple as that, and it's as hard as that. But honestly, the next 5 years, you could be accelerating the achievements without doing any of that. and just bumbling along, the next 5 years, you'll achieve, well, if you have a plan and you stick to it, you'll achieve that in probably 2 to 3 years, possibly quicker. And perhaps Simon could probably give you the best example. If you were still doing what you were doing, Simon, where would you be without spending the last 18 months actually accountable to a plan?
I'd still be doing the same thing.
So
Running around like an idiot. I didn't have a plan.
Brilliant. Thanks.
That's a trick question, Stuart.
It's the thing is about this growth thing, and I think this is the thing that people dance around, is that you just need a plan and you just need to execute, you need some sales and you need some marketing, but how do I do it? And the trick is the accountability, keeping the plan alive and surrounding yourself in an environment that support you in doing that. If you have that, you will find the time and you will do the right things in the right order, and you will absolutely accelerate your results. Without it, you'll bumble along and it'll be okay.
Fantastic. Thanks, Stuart. So as we say in the UK, Simon, from the horse's mouth, you know, if you had a whole group of people, well, you've got a whole group of people on the call right now. What's your advice as someone who's kind of been there, seen it done? Okay, we've still got a journey to go, but we're in a much better, happier, more comfortable place than you were kind of like previously. What's some of the things that you would encourage MSP business owners to business? This is the bit where you can talk a little bit of tech if you want.
Honestly, get your PSA right. It's got to be
excellent.
key.
Okay,
It's got to be key. Low hanging fruit is out there. Stuart told me I could get 10 grand a year's worth of low hanging fruit. He was wrong. I got 9 grand's worth a month just by filling in the blanks. And the other side of it was licenses I sold that I wasn't billing for to get my PSA and my accounts package talking properly. That was a massive eye opener. And it was just by stepping back out of the day-to-day fixing a computer and going, right, I'm going to work on this PSA and get it right, 100% right. And that's really what's driven things forward and made right. There is meat to this. Let's do it. There's so much more, and we haven't got enough time to discuss it, but
and this is when we talk about knowing your numbers. These are the numbers you've got to know about, and the systems that you use, you know, could be super ops. To do that is one of those options. So if that poll's still there, then hit that the number there to go and get that. Now we've just we're literally out of time now. So thank you, Simon, and thank you, Stuart, for your time this afternoon. It's been an absolute bucket of value bombs. What I just wanted to just quickly share with you is that if you want to learn a little more about the MSP journey and how it kind of works, we've got our own MSP Mastery Quiz, and all you need to do is just scan this code. I'm going to drop it into the chat box as well. And get with this is that it's really, really simple. It takes 3 minutes to fill it out, but you'll get a report that will tell you where you are on the MSP journey that Stuart spoke about. It will tell you what you kind of need to do and everything like that. And we are just, everybody in this channel is here to help. You need to connect with anybody, contact with myself, Simon, or Stuart, or any of the guys at Super Ops here. But go and have a look at the quiz. If you're interested in it, click on the link. And we'll look forward to connect with you, or just scan that there. In the meantime, thank you, Super Ops. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Simon. It's been amazing. I'm going to go and get my dinner now. And I look forward to catching up with you all guys soon. You take care now. See you soon. All the best.
Cheers, guys.